Carl MF here, and this time with a review for Skelattack, developed by Konami and in partnership with Ukuza. The story focuses on two best friends, Scully and Ember. Scully and Ember must face down an enemy in the game threatening to steal the blue flame, which is the very thing that gives them life in the afterlife. Yeah, that makes sense. Your weapon is a trusty sword, and you can earn abilities through missions in the game that allow players to diversify their playstyle a little bit. Skelattack is a side-scrolling platformer that wants to be Dark Souls level difficult in just how precise you need to be. There is an underlying existential theme that made me think about my own mortality and coming to terms with death in this whole COVID-19 situation. But anyway, this game is hard as hell. But before I explain exactly how, you should know that this is technically a Metroidvania, meaning that you start in one area and you often return to that area after you reacquire new powers. The central hub in the game is called Aftervale, the place in which all of the afterlife in this dungeon reside. Clips like the ones shown show how creative the game is in the way that you traverse through its many different levels. Okay, let me start by shouting out Shane Delamute and David Stanley of the developing team from Konami and Uzuka, but they were crazy as hell for some of these fights. I shit you not, I died on this boss at least 257 times. And I won't spoil anything about the fights, but I will say, fuck that hawk. Anyway, excuse that slight rant, but the boss fights in the game are actually really fun. There are about 5 major bosses, well 6 if you count this duo right here. You can find 4 rare metals scattered throughout the world at your leisure to power up your sword. And there is an in-game currency that allows you to buy character upgrades that improve strength, or it can lessen the amount of magic you use per special move use. There are collectibles in the game such as lore pages that further develop the world within Skelattack, and a big shout out to Doug Borges as the lead writer. The plot was heartfelt and worth reading along as you play. The art style is probably my favorite part about Skelattack. Each of the different levels has wildly different color schemes to match the varying locations. Another shouts out to Jamal Green for the music in the game. It was subtle in some levels, but it was purposeful to the environment that you were in. For example, the prison featured more ambient sounds as opposed to the more cheery bits in previous sections. Skelattack is an awesome indie game that deserves your attention if you don't mind instant death spikes or unforgiving platforming. And I mean like really unforgiving. The final level, known as the Grand Halls, makes you combine all of your previous knowledge and skills for one final test, that final push before the final boss. I said final a lot. But yes, there is only one right answer, and if your jump is 5 degrees off, you won't make it. I never found the challenge insurmountable though. The game did a good job keeping a glimmer of hope for the players. I ended up with 527 deaths after all was said and done, and I still thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game. Let me know what you think about Skelattack in the comment section below. This is Carl MF. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, peace and love.